Ultimate 2 Capital G here, got some incredibly impressive duels for hire to check out in this video. Just like how Konami broke the problem-solving text for the for hire archetype, I figured I'd go ahead and break my sentence structure for this video just because it's a for hire duels, so just kind of roll with it. Anyways, if you don't know, for hire are getting another piece of support in Dark Neostorm. It's a new for hire monster that actually special summons from the graveyard. The monster is summoned in defense position. You guys are going to see it in the first turn, but you can still use that monster's effects. It's actually quite nice when it comes to an addition to the archetype. And really, for hire are a really good swarming deck. I know that they were just ridiculously powerful in Duel Links. They actually ended up getting hit on the FNL list in Duel Links because they were just that strong. They were like tier 1. But I don't know. I'd like to think that if you can find a very strong build for hire, then maybe you could end up with a top 8 regional finish. Now you can see that some of these hands are kind of tailor-made to go second, in my opinion. Whenever you've got Mind Control and Cyber Dragon, that just kind of tells me you want to go second, but it's also kind of accented by a hand trap. So you have 3 good going second defensive options here. Well, I'm sorry, I would like to say just going second options. I think that this is actually a really good hand, unless this gets ashed. If this gets ashed, then just fucking rest in pepperonis. And one good thing about Cyber Dragon is that your Fogo, your Link monster, it requires just monsters of different types. You can use basically anything, so that's always pretty nice. So Lightsworn is up first, and let's see what he's going to do. Probably charge or solar recharge, just depending on what you're kind of feeling. I'd probably throw out charge or light brigade first, see if my opponent has that ash blossom, and then follow it up with the solar recharge. Triple Lumina, don't see that turn 1 a lot. It's gonna go for the Hippotion again. Summons Dante. Now, how often do you see Dante used in Burning Abyss, let alone turn 1? And Fairy Tale Snow got sent to the graveyard. That's going to summon itself back to get that Minerva. Unfortunately, Minerva gets smacked in the face by Ghost Ogre. It is so rewarding to kill a Minerva with a Ghost Ogre when you don't have any cards on the field, because the Lightsworn player just doesn't really get anything out of it, so that's always kind of nice. Now, he is going to get an Electromagnetic Turtle. I thought it was kind of weird that he decided to summon the Fairy Tale Snow for no reason. I mean, I guess it's like a decent sized beater, especially with the 500 attack boost from Hipposhinigan, so maybe you can say Cap G, he doesn't care about getting run over. He has the Electromagnetic Turtle. I mean, okay, I kind of get it, just to have another body. If it survives, maybe you can synchro summon with your Raiden. Kind of makes sense, but I would rather have the disruption. Anyways, it didn't really matter. His opponent does have Mind Control and Cyber Dragon, so he's just taking all of his shit. Now, here's the new piece of support that I was talking about right here. This is the Philo for hire monster, and it summons back from the graveyard. Then he's going to activate a couple more for hire monster, and all of a sudden, look how many monsters he has on the field. 6 monsters instantly, almost converting his entire opening hand to field presence. And then, obviously, the Raphael is going to activate. That's going to potentially get him another plus, which it does, very similar to like Dark Magical Circle. Now, the Fogo is really good, man. Fogo is, I feel like this is such an underappreciated monster. I kind of understand now why it is a Link 3 and not a Link 2, because usually you'll summon like Dampa from your deck, and then Dampa will special summon something, and then you just pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, and then look how many cards you end up drawing. It's like 1, 2, 3 brand new cards from your hand. Now, if you did see that, he did actually use Called by the Grave that he top decked, so maybe that was a little bit of luck sacking right there. Uses Called by the Grave, gets rid of the Electromagnetic Turtle, gets another Called by the Grave for the ultimate luck sack. My god, the luck sack is real. This means that the Fairy Tale Snow is no longer a threat, so he just could go for battle phase and end up winning the duel. If his opponent does go Fairy Tale Snow there, it doesn't matter. He can just activate the second Called by the Grave, and then he would just be able to pull off the OTK. I like the fact that he bust out the Ronin Raccoon, always a really nice monster, and especially considering Ronin Raccoon is always good when you have another big body on field, because then your token becomes legitimately just as strong as like it becomes basically another boss monster at that point. So you can see he's got 28, 28, 24. That alone on board is just game. He doesn't even need these other 3 monsters. So that's a quick Savage get wrecked for hire. And we got a Thunder Dragon Duel 2. I don't believe Thunder Dragons are going to maximize this opening hand. Like, if you just look at this opening hand, he's got, like, this doesn't make any sense. sense, right? I've watched this duel probably about 4 times now. I'm really trying to understand his ideology here. Like, I don't play Thunder Dragons, but I know generally what Thunder Dragons are supposed to do. At minimum, you kind of want to get at least 2 of your fusions on board, but he has like the 2 best normal summons in the entire deck. Why would you summon your Origin? It honestly doesn't make any sense. At minimum, usually you can just summon your Solar Battery Man. You can drop the blue dude in the graveyard, and then the blue dude, I believe, either summons one from your deck or probably adds one. But I know the blue one, like when you send it to the graveyard, you can ash it, because I be doing that shit all the time on YGO Pro if I don't ash the Solar Battery Man. So he has 2 cards that are +1s on summon. I have no idea why he decides to take neither one of them. And I mean, he gets another Origin to his hand, but like, for what? Now, this was kind of like dumb luck here. He does activate Gold Sarcophagus, banishes Necroface, which is just like, wait, what? Why are you even playing that? But off of the Necroface, he ends up getting 2 pluses. Like, this dude is trolling at this point. He gets the Giant Rex. He gets the, oh, so that's Thunder Dragon Roar. I don't know all their names in the TCG except Titan and Colossus. I know this one's Colossus, the other one's Titan, but I know like their effects just based on me playing them enough times. Anyways, you would think that he would have done more. Again, I think that he had a lot of powerful normal summons, didn't really use them. Prankatrox is going to be used, or no, it's not actually going to be used, just going to be summoned, and then he's going to go for Beat. I used to think that Beat was like the most important one, and it is still definitely strong because it has the Rhoda effect, but I don't know, man. Dampa's looking kind of spicy. I guess maybe you don't want to draw Dampa, you just always want to summon it off Fogo, and Dampa's going to pop. He actually is going to get the new one, the Philo. That's going to reborn one of him. He draws 3 cards, which is just ridiculous. Reborns, and now, once again, just like in the first duel, I mean, this is turn 1, and you're basically seeing 7 monsters on field. Like, this is no soul charge. No soul charge needed. 6 cards already on the board, and at this point, he can just go for Boros War Dragon, and in this duel, that's exactly what he's going to do. Doesn't matter if your Colossus has protection. The Boros War Dragon being able to attack twice means GG no re. Even if he wasn't able to finish him with that Boros Sword attack, keep in mind he could have attacked with Fogo as well, and he has Called by the Grave +2 hand trap, so I think that he would have been in pretty decent position for next turn anyways. But you can see that For Hire can be a really aggressive and strong deck, kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a watered down Burning Abyss, one of those decks that takes like literally every single card in its hand and uses it to its fullest potential. Very much the opposite of what this guy did. This guy didn't use like nearly as much of his hand as he really should have, and this guy basically maximized everything, drew 3 more additional cards, so you know that's why you're seeing the hand traps and the other defensive cards here. So we'll pause for 1 second, we'll check out what the deck looks like. So this is what the deck list looks like for Hire, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like this build. I guess the Philo is a one of, same thing goes for Dampa. I was talking about Dampa a lot because it was getting him mad pluses, but really when you think about a lot of the monsters for Hire, you kind of only need to use them once, and you can get them on the field either with your Fogo or you can get them with like your Mayhem for Hire. So there are ways of getting these monsters on the field, and since for Hire can drop so many monsters, like we saw him drop 7 monsters on board like in both games, so it's not exactly an aberration. I kind of feel like Beat is the most important one. I guess, you know, that does hold true, because Beat will get you an extra monster, and then you're going to special summon that monster, and if that monster happens to be Raphael, then you're going to probably get another plus and be able to special summon that card as well. I like all these supplemental pieces in this deck. Like, this actually looks to me, when I look at just the makeup of this actually looks like something that could top a regional, because I'm looking at like the Cyber Dragons, I'm looking at the hand trap lineup of 7 strong hand traps. Generally, when I'm deck building, I like to be in that 7 to 8 range when it comes to hand traps. In fact, I think I run 7 hand traps also. No, maybe I run 8. I think I run 3 Ash, 3 Impermanence, and then 2 copies of Veiler. But 7 to 8 is generally where I like to be, because you have good odds of seeing one of them. And Impermanence, to me, I just feel like it's kind of like a staple, man. I feel like every deck gives you one opportunity to just Impermanence them and just completely flip their turn 1 on its head, whether it be something like a Sunlight Wolf or Electromite. You know, many times I've Impermanence that and just been able to wreck them, or even sometimes if you're going second against like a Titan or something, excuse me, a Colossus, well, I guess against a Titan too. I'm talking about the Thunder Dragon fusion monsters. But the makeup of this deck, I think, looks so good for for going second. You've got enough hand traps in 7 to keep your opponent at bay, and then ideally you're going to get either a Mind Control or a Cyber Dragon, a Prankatrops, an Eater of Millions. Like, these are all cards that will get out of your hand. You don't have to commit your normal summon, thus you can save those for the for hire monsters, and they're going to give you a monster. In some cases, they're going to take your opponent's monster and give you a monster at the same time. In the case of the Cyber Dragons plus the Mind Control, the reasoning looks really good because you can technically summon Cyber Dragon. You can summon your Prankatrops from the reasoning as well. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And really, I think Eater of Millions is just brilliant in here. I think that maybe about a year ago, a lot of people found out how good this card was in Trickstar. And really, if you can kind of just banish a lot of your extra deck, there is the one Pot of Desire, so don't be surprised if this card comes out routinely at 1500 plus, and it just takes care of one of your opponent's monsters regardless of its size, and it obviously doesn't target. So I think that this build actually looks like really, really good on paper. I don't generally say a lot of the builds that we look at look fantastic, but this one looks like regional top 8 level, so you guys take that for what you